Since time immemorial, human beings have developed systems to exchange goods and services. In early civilizations, this exchange took place through bartering, a process in which individuals offered goods they owned in exchange for those they needed. However, bartering had its limitations. For it to work, both parties needed to have what the other desired at the precise moment. As societies grew and became more complex, this form of exchange became insufficient, as it was difficult to align both parties' needs. Thus, the idea of using objects that had a value accepted by everyone to facilitate transactions was born. This is how money emerged. Money, in its early forms, was nothing more than a symbolic representation of the value individuals assigned to certain objects. In different cultures, goods like livestock, grain, seashells, and even precious stones were used as forms of money. These objects, beyond their intrinsic value, acquired a shared meaning that facilitated trade. As the economy of societies grew and needs diversified, these early systems evolved. Eventually, precious metals like gold and silver took the place of these objects due to their durability, portability, and relative scarcity. The use of gold and silver as money brought greater stability to transactions, but over time, it became impractical. Transporting large quantities of precious metal was expensive and dangerous, which led to the invention of something more manageable: fiat money. This new system consisted of paper currency that represented a quantity of gold stored in a secure place. Governments and central banks issued these bills, guaranteeing that the holder could exchange them for their equivalent value in gold. However, over time, most countries abandoned the gold standard. Governments began issuing money without backing it with precious metals, basing its value on the trust citizens had in the stability of their economy. This fiat money is the system that predominates today, where the bills and coins we use have no intrinsic value but are based on consensus and trust in the institutions that issue them. It is an implicit social agreement. We believe in the value of money because we trust that others will also accept it. Money has been the cornerstone of trade, the foundation of economies, and a tool that has enabled growth and prosperity. However, this system is not without problems. The centralization of money in the hands of banks and governments has raised concerns about control, inflation, devaluation, and dependence on monetary policies. Throughout history, economic crises, financial collapses, and hyperinflations have eroded trust in traditional monetary systems. Amid these concerns, a revolutionary idea emerged: the possibility of creating a form of money that did not depend on any central authority, a completely decentralized system based on technology. Thus, in 2009, the world witnessed the birth of Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency. This innovative creation was developed by a person or group of people under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Welcome to the Wild Worlds Files. Please consider subscribing. It would help me a lot to keep uploading content. Thank you. Bitcoin is not just a new form of money, it is a total departure from traditional forms of exchange. Unlike fiat money, which is controlled by governments and central banks, Bitcoin is decentralized. This means that no institution has control over it, and transactions are verified through a network of computers distributed around the world, known as blockchain. This technology ensures that transactions are transparent, secure, and virtually impossible to counterfeit. To understand the true innovation that Bitcoin represents, it is necessary to comprehend the nature of blockchain. A blockchain is a public digital ledger that stores all transactions made with Bitcoin. Each block in the chain contains a group of transactions, and once a block is completed, it is permanently added to the chain. The most revolutionary aspect of this technology is that it is immutable, meaning that once a transaction is recorded, it cannot be altered or deleted. This provides unprecedented security in the digital world. Bitcoin's design is also unique because it is programmed to be scarce. Unlike traditional money, which governments can print without limit, only 21 million bitcoins can ever be created. This feature mimics the scarcity of goods like gold, leading many to refer to Bitcoin as digital gold. The process by which new bitcoins are created is known as mining, and it involves using computers to solve complex mathematical problems. As more bitcoins are mined, the difficulty of these problems increases, making the creation of new bitcoins slower over time. To understand this concept, it's important to remember that Bitcoin is not issued by a government or central bank, but is created by a network of computers distributed across the world. These computers, known as nodes, validate and verify all Bitcoin transactions. However, for a transaction to be definitively included in the blockchain, it must be confirmed through a complex mathematical process that ensures the transactions are secure and authentic. This process is mining. Individuals or companies participating in Bitcoin mining, known as miners, compete with each other to solve complex mathematical problems that validate transaction blocks. This process is not arbitrary. It is designed to be difficult enough to require a significant amount of computational power and energy, ensuring that the creation of new Bitcoins is controlled and not too many are produced too quickly. Each time a miner solves one of these problems and validates a block, they are rewarded with a fixed amount of Bitcoin. This reward is halved approximately every 4 years in a process known as halving. In Bitcoin's early days, the reward was 50 Bitcoins per block, but today it has decreased to 6.25 Bitcoins per block. This mining system not only validates transactions, but also introduces new Bitcoins into circulation until the maximum limit of 21 million is reached. Mining, therefore, is an essential part of the Bitcoin network and guarantees its decentralized and secure operation. However, it is not without controversy, particularly regarding its energy costs and the consequences it has had for some of its participants. According to some studies, the Bitcoin network consumes as much energy as entire countries, such as Argentina or the Netherlands, raising concerns about its environmental impact. In places where electricity is cheap and dependent on non-renewable sources, such as coal, Bitcoin mining has been labeled as a highly polluting activity. Another important characteristic of Bitcoin is its relative anonymity. Although all transactions are public and recorded on the blockchain, users are not required to reveal their identity. Instead, each transaction is linked to an alphanumeric address, allowing users to make exchanges without exposing their personal information. This aspect has been both a blessing and a curse for Bitcoin. On one hand, it has allowed people worldwide to access a global financial system without needing a bank account. On the other hand, the anonymity has attracted interest from those wishing to use Bitcoin for illicit activities. Despite these challenges, Bitcoin's use has grown exponentially. Initially, only a small group of enthusiasts and programmers used it, but over time, more people began to recognize its potential. One of the most famous milestones in Bitcoin's early history occurred in 2010, when a user bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. Today, those same Bitcoins would be worth millions of dollars, demonstrating how its value has increased over time. Bitcoin's price has been extremely volatile, leading to both quick fortunes and significant losses. This volatility is partly the result of its emerging nature and the uncertainty surrounding its widespread adoption. However, despite these fluctuations, many see Bitcoin as a store of value similar to gold. They argue that due to its limited supply and growing demand, its value will continue to rise in the long term. The emergence of Bitcoin has sparked a broader revolution in the world of cryptocurrencies. Since its creation, thousands of other cryptocurrencies have appeared, each with unique characteristics and purposes. Some, like Ethereum, have expanded the concept of blockchain to include smart contracts, while others, like Ripple, focus on the quick and efficient transfer of funds between financial institutions. Despite its success, Bitcoin faces significant challenges. One of the main problems is its scalability. As more people begin using the network, transactions can become slower and more expensive. Developers are working on solutions, such as the Lightning Network, which seeks to speed up transactions and reduce costs, but the adoption of these technologies is still in its early stages. Additionally, the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining has been a major concern. Due to the large amount of energy required to mine new Bitcoins, some critics argue that the system is not sustainable in the long run. As the world seeks ways to reduce its carbon footprint, this could be a significant obstacle to Bitcoin's widespread adoption. Despite these challenges, Bitcoin remains one of the most important innovations of the 21st century. It has changed the way we think about money, ownership, and trust. In a world where traditional institutions are losing credibility, Bitcoin offers a decentralized alternative that promises to return financial control to individuals. The path ahead for Bitcoin is uncertain. Some believe it will eventually replace fiat money, while others see it as a speculative bubble destined to burst. What is undeniable is that Bitcoin has started a global conversation about the future of money and has demonstrated that decentralized technologies have the power to challenge the status quo. Ultimately, Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. It is a symbol of the shift toward a world where technology can free people from centralized control. Although its future remains uncertain, its impact has already been felt in global finance and has laid the foundation for a new economic paradigm. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wild Worlds Files for more incredible stories and adventures.